Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's the van tour part 2 and I'm really looking forward to showing you around the van. Before that, a couple of things I want to mention. I bought a new thing. Obviously, I always buy new things for the van. And it's basically a 25-metre extension cable for the electric hookup. We've got a 10-metre one at the moment, which rolls up perfectly and fits just in front of the battery under the bonnet. I'll show you in a second. But what we found quite a lot is we've been staying at some campsites, certainly last year, and the 10-metre cable has only just reached. Now, if you can't get it plugged in, then there's no electric. So I think to have the backup of a 25-metre one is ace. So it's just plugged into a normal plug socket at the other end. I'll put a link into the description below of the electric hookup cable that I bought if anybody's interested. None of these products that I'm going to talk about are sponsored. The video's not sponsored, but I would like to make or I would like to mention actually a community that I'm part of online on Facebook called the Dubbed Out Community, or Dubbed Out Community. It's one of those Facebook pages that it's full of friendly people. No question is a silly question. Everyone's super helpful. Anybody who causes any hassle gets turfed out. Jermaine does a great job there, and so does Neil. So yeah, thumbs up to Dubbed Out Community. Go ahead and go follow those guys. Again, not sponsored, just thought I'd give them a quick shout out. The sticker on the back of the van that I always film as well is just an ode to how much I like being part of that community and how friendly it is as well. And hopefully in the future we can do some sort of meet up and meet some of the people that I've been chatting to online for the past year I've not been able to meet up with because of the thing I'm not going to mention. Anyway, so I'm going to start the van tour and it's going to start with me plugging in the electric hookup into the back. And then we'll have a quick chat, and I've done some B-roll as well, so it keeps the video a little bit more interesting for you guys. Right, I shall see you in a bit. See you, bye. Right, on the last van tour, I didn't really explain where the electric hookup comes from, I don't think anyway, so I'm going to do it again now, just in case. But I've put the electric hookup inside the bonnets, because I think it's out of the way, it's tucked out of the way, and it's in a really safe place. Now, there's an area and there's a space just inside here, I'm going to show you now, that is perfect, and it fits a 10-metre electric hookup cable perfectly. So it's great storage for that as well. So the 10-metre cable fits in there, but that's where my electric hookup is, and it's obviously it's going all the way through and into the van, and that's basically where that stays. And this 10-metre cable here, I've taken it out obviously because I'm going to be using a 25-metre one now. Rolls up and perfectly fits in there. It doesn't get in the way of any of the electronics or the lights or anything like that, and it's perfectly shielded from the heat of the engine as well, because this is like reflective heat shield stuff. Right then, I'm going to start with the outside first, and we're going to start with the bonnet protector. Now, the bonnet protector is something that I actually really like, because I think it complements the darker bumper. Each to their own. It's like Marmite, isn't it? Some people like them, some people don't. So the bonnet protector looks ace against the black bumper, I think, personally anyway. Also added that because this adds a little bit of BHP. That adds like 50 BHP, does that. Where else do we go from here? Right, okay, wind deflectors. So, as you know, wind deflectors are a must. I love these wind deflectors because it means that I can have the windows down a little bit to let air flow through, and it stops rain getting in as well. They're great when you're travelling on the motorway at 70 mile an hour. You can have the windows popped open a little bit, it lets air in, but no rain gets in or anything. It's perfect, and obviously it don't mess your quiff up. On the side here, I've got a side opening window. The windows on both sides at the back and the pop top was fitted by a company called C&H Pop Tops. I've had no issues with the pop top or the windows since having them done. They've got mixed reviews online, so just double check with them. They did it in one day, did it on a day's turnaround, and I am totally happy with the install. Yeah, it's been ace. Also, when you get the pop top installed, go for this little thing here. And what it does is it stops your pop top from whistling like in the wind. It basically sends the wind over the top of the pop top, or most of it, and directs it and stops it from making that horrible whistling noise. What else have I added on the outside? Obviously I changed the wheels. Again, that's completely subjective, like depends on what you want. Some people might like steels, some people might like chrome alloys, some people might like the original VWs. I just went for these, the Gen 2s from, believe it or not, alloywheels.com, and they came with the tyres as well, and they are 18-inch alloys on, I think, 45s. Yeah, 45 tyres. And they do the job for me. I don't want it lowered. I don't want it looking any lower than it already is. I might have it evened out, so slightly lowered at the front, so it compares to the back, because once you put all your gear in the back, it tends to add a bit of weight to the back of the van, and just to level it out might make it look nice. I have added, some people on the channel will have seen me install these bad boys as well, the sidebars. I think the sidebars, again, it's just aesthetics. Some people like the black ones, some people like the chrome ones, some people don't like them at all, some people like side steps, but I preferred these ones, think they look really ace. Also added the door covers as well, so the handle covers. These are just stick on, again from eBay. I think that just sets them off quite nicely. They've not come off, they've stayed on. It's on with 3M tape. It's on with 3M tape. I mean, that's like the strongest tape on the planet, isn't it? A couple of additions. Now, what I've done here is, as you know, I've made my own table. Made it out of a pallet and used the brackets and all the bits from the original table, so then it would hook onto the sliding pole in the front there. Again, I'll show you that in a minute. What I've used here is little bungees, so then I can hold the what's they called? They keep the rain off. Umbrella. So I can hold the umbrella in there, and then a walking pole. I usually have 2 walking poles in there, but I broke one. Rock and roll. There we go. That's people who I know. It's nice. And what else has changed? Yeah, I just put the protector on the front here. That just basically, I say it's there to protect stuff. It's not really. It's there because I think aesthetically it looks nice, and it hides the grey bumpers or the black bumpers and stuff like that. As you know, I fitted a solar panel to the top of the roof. I think I've got some B-roll for that, but that's up there. At some point I'm going to add one to the other side just to even it out and add another 100 watts of solar. A couple of cargo nets just on the back door there, so you can put like maps in and stuff like that. This bit here is so then I can attach this table there, and then we can do cooking outside al fresco in the summer on a campsite somewhere like that. Again, I've added a diesel heater. That's changed everything for me, absolutely everything. The diesel heater's ace. It's a 2 kilowatt Chinese diesel heater. I've got a video on the channel showing how I installed that as well, so go check that out. It's literally just like average man installs a diesel heater. It's not a professional install by any stretch of the imagination. But what I've done just to make it look a little bit tidier is I've boxed that in, that's screwed on, looking all nice, and that's just, there's plenty of airflow when the door shuts to there. Plenty of airflow going to that to let the air in. And then under here, again, I've just hidden the tank, the diesel tank behind there, and then just added that just for, again, for aesthetics, because I think it looks a lot nicer. Similarly on this side here, I just added another bit of carpeted plywood just down the side there, and it just adds that little bit of je ne sais quoi, shall we say. I'm only kidding. Right, also carbon monoxide alarm, a couple of hooks on there so we can hang our coats up. Here is a cup holder. Now you'd be thinking, why did you put a cup holder there? Now I put a cup holder there because when you are lying down in bed, you've got somewhere to put your drink, which is, it's the perfect position. You're not going to knock that over in the night. So yeah, that's just, cup holder just looks like that, just pops out. I'll show you what's in that cupboard through the other side because it's a little bit ram-packed in there. Always got our spare gas bottle, just in case the other gas bottle runs out, and we can get that filled up. Whoa. Right, okay, let's close these doors. And let's, ooh, that's a lovely sunset. Anyway, right, it's getting pretty chilly, so I'm going to get in and we'll continue the van tour. Right then guys, so sorry about the noise. I've had to put the heater on in the van because it's properly cold out there. I think I've covered everything on the outside. The wheels, the pop top, the bonnet protector, the wind deflectors, the little badge on the front that makes the van go faster. I also changed the lights as well. So again, I'll put a link into the description to where I got the bulbs, because the bulbs on the main lights are rubbish when you buy the van. It's literally like driving around with candles on. So I changed those. They're not night breakers, I don't think. There might be. But again, I'll put a link into the description below as to where I got those from. I also changed the daytime running lights to LEDs as well. That just makes them look nice more than anything else. Totally legal to put those in as LED because they're daytime running lights and it's past the MOT and everything like that. But don't take my word for it. Ask your local garage what they think. Now, I've plugged into the electric hookup now, so everything is on electric wise, which is properly ace, which means I've got the electric heater on. I'm not wasting my diesel. Now that brings me on to the electrics. I'm going to do a full detailed, in fact I'm almost finished with that video, that's next week's video, full detailed electronics description, as detailed as I can get as well, the average layman DIY man, of the electric system that I use. So yeah, look forward to that. That's going to be ace. Eventually, after promising you for such a long time, that's coming. So what's next? Right, okay, so I'm just going to go through things as I look at them. At the moment, I'm sat on a swivel chair. It's a double swivel, and I absolutely love this double swivel chair. I've genuinely thought about getting a single swivel, but you lose so much when you get rid of a double swivel. And the reason I say that is because underneath here, I don't know if you can see on camera, let me just pop that down again. On the seat, what you have here, is that there? There we go, look, it's in shot. Storage. Now under there we have all our sleeping bags, inflatable pillows, a couple of fleece blankets and things like that. So that is the main reason. Just pop that back up. So that's the main reason I don't want to get rid of the double swivel. Don't get me wrong, double swivels are a nightmare to spin round. In the B-roll that I've probably just shown, or I'm going to show, and me spinning that chair round, I made it look super easy. Sometimes it is. Sometimes, you know what? Sometimes it's brilliant. Sometimes it spins round and you look like a full spinny chair pro. And then sometimes you wrestle with it like I do not know what. It's properly full-blown WrestleMania. So yeah, I think a single swivel will just spin round straight away, and you get the storage underneath to maybe put your diesel heater or another battery. I don't know, I haven't got one, so I couldn't really say anything about it, but I do know that having this double here means that I can chill out on a full double seat. Michelle and Olivia have got the bigger seat on the other side, and it means that we've got chill out space. I think on a single one, I think I might struggle to get relaxed on an evening. This is the pop top up, so I'm stood up in the van, which is brilliant, absolutely ace for space, standing up, everything. It just makes life so much easier with a pop top. I personally, now I've had one, probably wouldn't want to not have one. It's great having the lid down when you want to be stealth, so you don't always pop the lid, because she's pretty much like, oh, I'm camping when the lid's up. But yeah, when you're on a campsite, you're just going to have this bit open. There's an extra bed upstairs. Now I'm going to show you that now. I'm just going to pull this down a little bit. It's on those, like these on like the struts here, and they are like boot struts or bonnet struts, things like that. Hydraulic rammy things, I don't know. Don't come here for technicals, just come here to look at my van. Right, yeah, so that just pops down there. There's plenty of space up there for Olivia. I've slept up there, and I think if you watch one of our videos, it's not the most comfortable of sleeps because it's quite a hard surface there, and this is not very thick. But we have bought a memory foam mattress, which is about 2 or 3 inch thick, which is in the house at the moment, and we'll take that on longer trips. So if we're going away for 2 weeks, that memory foam mattress will come out with us, because it's so much comfier. If you've got a pop top that's got like the bed slats in and things like that, it's going to be way comfier than the hardwood that's on top there. But you can get over that by popping obviously a better mattress on the top there. We also, as well, pulling this back down again, when we are camped up, we put all our covers up there during the day. We don't close the lid with the covers in there because I think that will probably do damage to it and there's not enough space. But like all the sleeping bags go in there, all the pillows go in there, and we've even got our like double down duvet in there as well. And then obviously that just pops up. It sticks down more than it would do, but it's still high enough for me to walk, and I'm 6'2". So yeah, that's that. The pop top itself has a window in the front there. It's just plastic, and then in the sides, in both sides, you've got like a ventilation bit there. We open that when we're cooking on the hobs down there, and that's that. Also upstairs there is a separate light as well, which has got a USB built into it, so then Olivia can charge up all her necessary things in there. So that light comes on, it lights up the whole of that area, which is ace. Right then, let's get onto my shelf. Work our way down, eh? So the shelf itself is just made out of plywood and 2x1 pine, something like that. So yeah, that's basically how that's been made. I've wanted a shelf there for such a long time, and they are super expensive, so I thought I'd make one myself. It fits obviously I put coffee in there and some lights around it to make it look pretty for the video and stuff like that, but in real time, you know, you're going to put in cups, you're going to put in, I've made it big enough to fit like tins of beans and things like that, and it's super sturdy as well. And it's not going to look pretty when we're camping with all the beans and all the things, but it's another surface to keep things, if we're camping for a long time, like 2 or 3 weeks, it's nice to know what you've got. Not only that, if they're not all in use, say for instance we go away for 2 or 3 nights, this then becomes like a bit more of a utility shelf rather than having your phone on the side here. We generally tend to put phones in there and little bits so then they don't go flying around. Like I've got my sunglasses in there, we've got a mag light in there, and obviously the coffee and the coffee maker and some things just to make it look nice. So moving on from down there, the window opens on this side, and sometimes depending on how cold it is, we'll have that window open while we're cooking on this hob here. It's the Dometic hob. It's got 2 rings. That one turns on with that one turns on with that, and it's like a clicky clicky. Again, don't come here for technicals. Clicky clicky is all you're going to get from me. And then the sink. The sink is in there. We generally use this sink more so for brushing our teeth and doing some pot washing. No other reason than I don't know, I'm not really a fan of drinking water straight out of that sink, because it's been in plastic bottles for ages and stuff like that. So we have a different storage container for which you will have seen on my camper van essentials video, which I'll put a link up there for you to have a look at. So yeah, we use that instead for fresh water, because we go through that pretty quickly, and we've got our own bottles and things like that, and we'll fill them up on the go. The water in the tank is literally just for, as I said, washing pots and brushing teeth and things like that. But yeah, it comes in handy. It comes in handy for storage as well. So when we go away for a long time, all of the things that you would take for cleaning products will go in the sink and out of the way. I wouldn't suggest putting like sharp things in there or solid things, because you don't want that falling down onto anything in there and smashing. I've seen a couple of people that have, I think We Broom Van, the YouTube channel, really great guys, go check them out. I think they broke the top of theirs. I don't know whether it was because it got warm or because it got smashed on something. I don't know. I don't even think they know. But yeah, there's a potential of that happening, and these aren't cheap to replace. Right, moving down. In fact, no. Before we move down, we have the electronic control panel. So on here we've got all the voltage information. We've got another 12 volt 120 watt power outlet. We've got all the various switches for the pump for the sink, the lights for upstairs, the lights for downstairs, and yeah, like I say, the voltage. The voltage is up at 14.1 now because it's on charge, because I've plugged it in. I've done the electric hookup. I've got these dotted all around the van as well, these cargo nets. They just screw in, they're proper solid. This one here obviously is holding the chopping board. It's a bamboo chopping board, so it's super lightweight. Again, the lamp here is something that's on my accessories video, camper van accessories video. All the links to all the stuff pretty much that I'm going to show you as well will be in that video, and the link I will have already put up. So yeah, and I'll put a card at the end of this video so it reminds you to go and have a look at that. Yeah, so what else? Let's move down. On here there's a little bar that holds the table that I've made. Like I say, this unit came flat packed, and I built it for the van, and the table that came with it was great, but it just wasn't big enough, so I made a slightly bigger table, put 2 legs on it so it were more sturdy, so we can have games and have our drinks, or have plates opposite each other. The other table was just way too small. Moving on down to here, we have at the moment it's the crap drawer, because everything goes in here until we're away. So I've got, like, you know, my scent thing that I got off a friend of mine, the thing that makes the van smell nice. Again, I'll put a link into the description below for that. All the knives and forks are in there, and these like little magnetic hooks. I don't want to put it too close to the camera because it's super strong, but that's like a magnetic hook that we like to just stick to any of the metal in the van, and then we can hang things off as and when we camped. I don't like having things hung when I'm not camping, because when I'm driving it rattles, and rattles make me anxious. I don't like rattles. In fact, it got to the point where actually I got Michelle to drive around a really bumpy road nearby so I could sit in the back and check out where all the rattles were, so I could try and stop them all, get foam, tighten things up. So we're pretty much 99% there with the rattles. You can't do much about pats and ponds. Pons and pats. What are they called? Pans and pots. Why was that so hard to say? Anyway, right, so down the back of the sofa, this is a sofa, down the back of the driver's chair, we've got a fold-away table that fits in there perfectly. Under there is the battery and all the fuse box and everything like that. Again, I'll talk more about that in the electronics video. Then we've got the fridge, the Dometic fridge. That is brilliant. It genuinely is brilliant. I cannot recommend the Dometic fridge more. There are two that I can recommend because I know what the other one is. This is the CRE50 and you can get hold of the CRX50. The difference between the two is just purely aesthetics. Internally it's exactly the same. So if you want something that looks sleeker, get the CRX50. It's going to cost you a bit more money, about 50 quid more, whereas the CRE50 is a little bit cheaper. They've all got freezer compartments that do freeze stuff as well. We accidentally put something there that shouldn't have been frozen and it froze, so we know it freezes. We've had ice blocks in there that freeze. It's always best as well, little tip here, freeze your ice blocks or your ice cubes before you put them in, and then the fridge doesn't have to work as hard, especially if you're on battery. So down here we have the under sink cabinet, which I've popped under here the fresh water and the wastewater down there. Now they just slide out. I've just sort of secured them in with a bit of MDF there. The gas bottles there, it's always on because it stops up at the top there. You can switch them off if you want, and as you can see, it's all a little bit like shoved in there. The fire extinguisher, which is again part of the Campervan Essentials video, everything just gets shoved in there, where you can get like dog food in there as well, and like the cleaning stuff and whatnot, and bags and citronella candles, things like that. Things that you would normally have under your sink at home. So the next cupboard is more about what is in here. So I've got a light that comes on as you put your hand in, and that's just one of these. It's just a sensor alarm, not a sensor alarm, it's just a sensor light. It's got a magnet on there, and then it goes onto a bit of metal at the top there. So yeah, we just keep our kettle in there and our bowls. We don't bring any more than we need. I personally think that if that light's really bright in it, I personally think that if you think you're going to have guests, those guests will also be camping and have their own bowls and things like that. So I think only take what you're going to need. So we take 3 plates, we take 3 bowls, we take 3 knives, 3 forks, 3 spoons. So we've got enough for each of us. So yeah, that's super tip. The pans in there, obviously I've shown you before. Under here is just a box with all the other bits that we might fit in there, like a USB fan, some paracetamol, the Ridge Monkey, which is epic, and yeah, plenty of space in there. I've also got another one of those drinks holders there that will fit a wine bottle perfectly. The wine transportation system also fits other stuff like water bottles and things like that. Right, moving on. The toilet. So again, a lot of you have seen this toilet. I've talked about it a lot. Let me just put the heater just up there a second. And some people have asked, where do you put it when you've got the bed out? Now, it fits perfectly at the end, just down here. So it's empty now, so it's quite light. Ooh, don't tip it up though, just in case there is any bab in it. And basically, it goes there. So that's where the toilet goes. The bed comes right to where the toilet is, and then you still get the space down here to stand, do your bits and business or whatever into the toilet. You can still get to the fridge, you can still get to the cupboard. No, you can't get to the cupboard when the bed's out, remember that. So get everything out that you will need before you put the bed out, because that can get pretty annoying. So bearing that in mind, with the bed out, we're thinking to ourselves, right, okay, so do we want food and things that we need to get to in the morning in these cupboards? No. So what we do is we get the kettle out, that stays out, and all the food goes in this cupboard here, so that it's all out of the way, and we can also get to it when the bed's out. Now, change since the last video is the speakers. Now I've upgraded the speakers, in the doors, and then I also added 2 in the back. There's a video again on that channel, on my channel. I'll pop a link somewhere. Is it? I think it's there, I think I've nailed this. I think it's there. So I'll pop a link into there so you can have a look at the speaker install. I changed the speakers in the doors at the front, and then just added the rear speakers by taking a line from the rear speaker channel at the back of the stereo sending a massive wire all the way to the back. So now we've got sound in the back, so we don't have to have it on full blast at the front if we want the speakers on. Moving on to the lights. We've got a gooseneck light at the back here, which is perfect for reading light and things like that during the night. It's also got another USB on it, and I like to plug my phone into that and then tuck it into here on the night time, which is brilliant because then my phone's there, it's plugged in and it's out of the way. The lights that I've got in the van, LED lights, they're not touch lights or anything like that. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, all on the switch panel. Use hardly any power because they're all, you know, LED. Warm white as well. I think that the white light is a little bit too clinical. Again, it's all personal preference, but I certainly wanted a warm light in the van just to add to that coziness feel. One thing that was bothering me a lot is that when you're sort of chilled and you're sat in this corner here, you see how that light's like right above your face? It's like, just a bit annoying. So I fit a switch to it, and now, perfect. Now it's properly chilled, that light's not in your face, and everybody's a winner, baby, that's the truth. So, that's that one. Curtains, one thing I never talked about in the last one were curtains. Now, what we've got here is curtains from Kira Vans. All like the carpet liner and everything like that's from Kira Vans. I did all the carpet lining myself. I'm quite proud of it, I'll be perfectly honest with you, because it's not a hard job to do. So yeah, give it a go if you think you're an average DIY installer. I mean, I'm not great, and yeah, it was really easy to fit. So anyway, yeah, the curtains and the rails and everything were from Kira Vans. These are the rails. Look really nice, and then the curtains run along there. What I did add is just a little bit of elastic and these bits here, just so then it holds them back, so you get a little bit more light in. You can have them like that if you want, but they're shut, and they are pretty much blackout. They only let a tiny amount of light in and back out again. We've slept in so many times because we thought it was still dark, and it's not. It's like midday. So yeah, and yeah, they slide along there. There's a rail on top. There's a rail underneath. They just basically screw on, and like I say, then I've added this, a little button attachment, so then it's hard to do one-handed, so then you can push it out of the way, and then you just get more light in. Some people asked about in fact quite a lot of you have asked about this, the rug. Now, the rug itself is literally just a shop doorway rug from Amazon. I'll put a link into the description below where I got it from. Make sure you measure the space in your van, because I've fit this rock and roll bed slightly further back so we get more space in the living area, so to speak. We don't get any boot space, but that's not a problem for us because, like I say, all the covers go upstairs, and that leaves the chair empty as well, which means we can put other stuff in there like beach things and whatnot. So yeah, make sure you measure it, and then this one fit perfectly in mine. I think it's 1.5 meters by 1 meter or something like that. It's been so good. It's been great to stop Branston getting holes in the Ultra flooring. It's been ace to, like, when it's got mucky, you can just get it out and give it a vacuum, give it a clean. So yeah, I think it's the way forward. It's one of the best decisions I made for the van, is having the carpet. It's just like a big doormat, basically. I'm sure once we're camping as well, we'll take this rug out, put it into the awning, and then sand and things like that won't get into it, and we can just brush the sand off the lino. Again, another one of these. This one's for Michelle's side, so she can put a drink down during the night without knocking it and things like that, which is ace. I've put the panel for the heating there because Michelle likes to be in charge of the heat. There's another cargo net there, so she can put her books and her phone in and stuff like that overnight. What I am going to do is I'm going to install another USB charging point at this side, so then Michelle can charge her phone from this side as well. There's a speaker in that side. There's a speaker in that side. What else? The rock and roll bed. The rock and roll bed. I mean, it's brilliant. It genuinely is brilliant. And I'm going to say everything's brilliant in this van because it is. No, I'm going to say everything's brilliant in this van because it was bought for a purpose. Some things were bought to a budget, which will get replaced, but some things were bought for an actual purpose. This is an M1 crash tested rock and roll bed. It's really, really comfortable. We also add a mattress topper, which we can store up there because it's quite thin. We add that so then we're not damaging this, and then we also put like a fleecy bottom half on it as well, which is so comfortable. We love putting the fleeces down. What else do I talk about? Not really done much in the cockpit area of the van. That's pretty stock. I have resprayed some of the panels black rather than grey. I've also added the what's it called, steering wheel cover as well, which you'll see in the video that I'm going to put up, or I've already put up. And I think that covers everything in the van. We talked about the pop top, the units, the fridge, the chair, the toilet, the swivel seat, the drawer underneath. In fact, I haven't talked about the drawer underneath. I videoed it, but I've not talked about it. So I've got a drawer underneath this rock and roll bed that I've covered in with carpeted material and hardboard, and that basically gives us so much more storage underneath. Now, we've put, historically, what we've done, probably if we go away for maybe 2 nights, we can put all our clothes under there, which keeps them out of the way. I think in future, when we go away for maybe 2 weeks, we'll have suitcases. We'll have a suitcase each. When it comes to taking things on holiday with us, we're limiting ourselves to 1 suitcase each, and then once we get camped up, we'll get the awning on, and then we'll put our suitcases either out in the awning or somewhere else. I don't know, maybe in the front. Which brings me to, where does Branston sleep? Branston sleeps at the front of the van. We put his cushion in there. He jumps in, he's absolutely fine with it. He loves it. In fact, sometimes he gets to a point where he's really tired and he's just looking at us. We open the door, he jumps out and jumps back in again, and he's totally happy with that. Not only that, it keeps him out of the way during the night, but I think on colder nights, certainly when I go wild camping, I do like to have him on the bed with me, because he's just like a little bit of an extra hot water bottle, even though he does stretch out a lot more than Michelle. So yeah, Branston goes in there. Yeah, not many other changes really. I've added a safe to the van. That's in here. So the safe is down there, and you access it from the other side. And that's basically just for when we go abroad, passports, things like that. You can get smaller ones. That's one I already had. Yeah, just get like the thin slimline one that maybe goes under the seat or takes up less room and things like that. But yeah, it's just basically for passports. So then just a bit of peace of mind more than anything else. And also, yeah, I've added a shelving unit in there. Again, I hope you can see this with this light. Let me just see, that's better. Right, so I've added a shelving unit in there. This is just a bit of extra awning rail that I had, just to stop things from sliding out once they're in there. Mostly beer goes in there, and then we've got all like our food, games, colouring in, a couple of other bits that can go in there, like charger cables and things. And then, as you've seen before, that's where all our food goes, and then we can pop quite a lot in there. It just means, oh, that's really bright, there we go. That means we can pack the food in the house before we bring it to the van, so we're not bringing stuff out and going, oh, what did we bring, what, so we can have all the boxes open on the side, pack them all and say, right, that's for tins, that's for crisps, that's for snacks, that's for fresh, whatever it is that we're packing, they can all go in there. I think, oh no, right, okay, this, right, those of you who have got a dub will say to yourself, what's this bit for? What can I use this bit above here for? We use it to store our tissue roll. Now, our toilet roll, sorry. So our bog roll gets put in there, and it slides in there perfectly, stays out of the way, doesn't rattle because obviously it's soft and lovely, and that's where it goes. It's there every single time, which is brilliant. Oh, this is cool. This is cool. So this is just like on a suction thing, and it just suctions to the window, and then you can put in your hand wash and your soap and your sponges and things like that, and that's perfect for when you need to do your washing, get it out of the way. I added a mirror just here because one of the things I noticed about the van is we didn't have a mirror, so we were just like looking in reflections and things like that. So or using the wing mirrors, which is not ideal, and that's always in the van. So like for me and Mr. Vanity with my quiff, it's nice to have the mirror there as well. I think that covers absolutely everything. Thank you so much for watching this one. Coming up in the next video, we've got the electronics explained as best as I possibly can, and a couple of other cool things as well coming up in the future. So stay tuned. Thank you again for watching this far. I've no idea how long this video was. It's probably about half an hour of me waffling on. I'm losing my voice now. So I'm going to pop all this away now. It's getting dark outside. It's a lot darker outside than this video would lead you to believe. And take care, look after yourselves, enjoy your van. See you, bye! Why did I do like a Mr. Tumble? Bye then. Bye-bye! See you later, guys, bye.